Welcome to part 3
of the board. This is the main control board, and the next stage is to use this drilling machine to drill all the holes, all these tiny holes on the board. I have to drill every one of them. I have to drill every one of these tiny holes. So as you can see, without drilling the board, there won't be a space to fix the components. Look at the board, it's still blank. This is where our components should be fixed on, but because the board is yet to be drilled, there's no room yet. So the next stage is to drill the holes. This is how I'm going to do it. I can't do it still holding the camera, but let me try and make one really quick. This is what I mean. Like this hole now. See, the hole is there already. That's what I mean. We have to drill all those holes. So I'll drill every hole on this board and get back to you. Thank you. Welcome, guys. The drilling process has been completed. If you can observe, every hole has been drilled, and when I flip the board over, the holes should be visible from behind. So those are the component holes. So the next stage is to fix all the components. I'll try to fix one so that you can see exactly how it's going to be done. Let me try and fix one. Okay, this is an IC socket. I'm going to fix it into one of the holes. So it is fixed. So I have to flip it over and solder it. So I'm going to need a soldering iron to do this. I'll solder it, but I'll show you when I'm done with the soldering. Just hold on. Like I said, I've flipped the board over, and what I'm doing now is the soldering. I've inserted the IC socket, and I'm trying to solder it gently from the back of the board. You have to be careful with this process so as to make sure that every joint is properly soldered. So I may not be able to show us every other soldering, but I've shown it in this video how to solder the component to the board. I inserted it from the top, then I turned it over to access the bottom. So I've just completed the soldering of this IC socket, and as you can see, it's already on the board. Thank you. In this same way, I'm going to solder every other component onto this board. So I won't take our time by showing us how I made every single soldering board. I'm going to show us when the whole process is completed, or I may decide to show it stage by stage. Thank you. Alright, guys, I'm happy to meet you again. These are the 3 boards that I talked about that we need for the inverter. This is the main control board. As you can see, it has the highest number of components. This board is the driver board, is the MOSFET driver board, and this is the changeover board. The function of the changeover board is to change from NEPA to inverter. So when NEPA comes in, the inverter would automatically change to NEPA, and that's the function of the changeover board. It has 2 relays. So, and this is the main control board, and this is the MOSFET driver board. I've hooked up some stand, it's just aluminum stand, to the board so that I may be able to stand them properly within the inverter. That's the purpose of this stand, so that they might stand properly. And I have another stand for this board too. It has a stand too, but this other board doesn't have a stand because I'm going to connect it to this place. I'm going to make it, maybe when this one is standing I would have connected this. I'll show us in a moment. Welcome back guys. This is what I was trying to say. I love my control board to be like this, and I want the MOSFET board to be at right angle to it. You will understand why I'm doing this when I'm putting the board inside the inverter casing. You will understand why I'm doing this. This is not absolutely compulsory. It's just the way I like to assemble my inverter. Some inverter boards are just straight, they are not like this, but in my own case I prefer to have it this way. So we now have two boards, board 1 and board 2. This is like a 2-in-1 board. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. So this is the completed board. Good morning guys. Today I'll be working on the MOSFET. I told you about the MOSFET when I was highlighting the components of the inverter. For this inverter that I'm making, I'll be using 8 MOSFETs. There are so many types of MOSFETs, but the one I'm showing you today is IRFP 260. So we have so many types. Let me show you another MOSFET here. I think I have another MOSFET sample around. So this is another MOSFET. This one is 3205. It's a common MOSFET, just in a different package. They are MOSFETs. Okay. So for this project, I'll be needing 8 pieces of this MOSFET, and I want to have them connected together such that they will form the H bridge. I would have cut this aluminum heat sink to the size that could hold my MOSFET. I'll divide them into 2. Each bridge uses 4 switches, so I want to use 8. So it will be 2-in-1 switch per switch, such that it is still 4 switches, but one switch will be made up of 2 MOSFETs. So that's what I'll be doing today. I might show the pictures of the stages, but anyway, this is the way I'm doing it. There are several ways of assembling the H bridge. I'll show us other ways of assembling it, but this is the way I feel like doing it. You see, design construction doesn't have to be a one-way thing. We have to be dynamic, we have to be creative. Sometimes you have to just do as you feel. Just like waking up in the morning and having breakfast. Different people will have different kind of breakfast. As long as you don't break the rules. There are rules to follow when doing these stuff, as long as you don't break the rules. For example, MOSFET should be on heat sinks. As long as your arrangement is making use of heat sink, you are still safe. Another thing is MOSFET should be properly soldered. Whatever arrangement you are making, you have to solder them properly to avoid unwanted errors. So thank you.
To be continued in part 4.